Today, we would like to make a brief introduction on industrial work on Industry 4.0. The main purpose of this video is that we would like to explain what we are doing on the Industrial 4.0 and what we have done so far and what we will do this year.
Yes, and thank you very much. I think it's very important that we roll out what we have done, and also give the opportunity to our affiliates, to our regions, to take the material that we have collected, that we have put together in order to improve knowledge and also work on the matter of Industry 4.0.
So it has been already 10 years since the term Industrial 4.0 was born. And we, Industrial World Union, uses the term to describe a basket of disruptive technologies and work structure that are rapidly transforming the world of work, and especially in our manufacturing sector. And today, we see the Industrial 4.0 technology everywhere in every our workplaces, such as advanced digitalization, artificial intelligence, semi-autonomous interconnected machines, and advanced robot, and 3D printing, and nanotechnology, advanced biotechnology, and platform work. And the pandemic of COVID-19 even accelerated the Industrial 4.0 technology, and it has completely changed our working style and our working condition. What we are seeing right now is the huge tide of Industrial 4.0 is hitting our jobs at the factories, even in the low-wage countries. But if we can properly guide the implementation of the Industrial 4.0 policies, then we can get access to skills trainings for adapting the new technologies, and we can create quality work, which is decent work, with reduced working hours, and improved occupational health and safety. This is why we need Just Transition, because Just Transition provides a pathway to build a capacity to deal with the technology's change for sustainable future. At our third Congress in September last year, the new action plan adopted with four strategic objectives. So one is advanced workers' rights, the second, building union power, and third, confront global capital, and sustainable industrial policy. And Industrial 4.0 and Just Transition are a very important element to form our fourth pillar, which is sustainable industrial policy. And the strategy for the Industrial 4.0 include mainly three aspects. So one is we will demand for full participation of the workers as global, regional, and national and company level discussion on Industrial 4.0 take place. And secondly, we will demand also for the proper labor market policies that include improved national education and training, retraining, and skilling policies that consider the changing skills that appropriate qualification for Industrial 4.0. And thirdly, which may be the most important thing, that we will call for Trade Union 4.0 to respond to the impact of the Industrial 4.0.
Actually, we started with this work within Industrial already in 2017. We had this big conference, some of you will remember from our affiliates and regions, in October 2017, and there we adopted an action plan and also the report, The Challenge of Industry 4.0 and the Demand for New Answers. And taking it from there, in 2018 and 19, we rolled out what we had at the time into company networks, into regions, into sectorial activities. We wanted to deliberately also include the Global South, because we realized there are different speeds in the regions and in the countries. So from taking from there, from the research, we wanted to go into action, to come to a new setting also within our work, And what we have realized is that the world has changed. And then COVID interrupted a little bit of this rolling out of our research. But we started in 2021 again with a research document. We collected internally what we already have. But to take it to a new stage and to level up, we had a new research which was released early 2022, where we had an external research partner helping us. And so now our goal is to roll out this new strategy within the framework that you were just describing, the four strategic goals, and in accordance with the Congress Action Plan. And we want to initiate an internal debate over this matter and to increase not only knowledge, but also skills and encourage our affiliates to be part of this process. So we will have experts meetings, we will have work in the regions, we will have work with company networks, but we will also continuously do surveys and trainings with our affiliates. And the starting point for this new step is the report that we have just published, The Future of Work and Industry 4.0 in the Face of Multiple Drivers of Change, because we want to put this in the framework that you have described into the question of how to make just transition really happen, not just empty words, but really get workers, get trade unions on board in order to be able to influence this process. I mean, just to summarize what we've already learned about Industry 4.0, we are talking about over 200 years of constant change. On the one hand, we had the first industrial revolution, which was kind of steam power, powering mechanization. Then we had the mass production, assembly lines. That was, you could call it the second step. Industry 3.0 was actually the introduction of robots and technologies, information technologies, etc. So that's what some people still think is Industry 4.0, because some people still have the feeling, well, if we have more robots, then it's Industry 4.0. But it's a little bit different, because Industry 4.0, as a matter of fact, is a new setting, a new pattern of production, because it combines all these stages, and it combines cyber-physical systems, cooperation, like human beings interacting with the internet, with the robots. So this kind of cyber-physical interaction, that's the essential new part of Industry 4.0. And at the same time, we see that in different countries and different societies, we still have, side by side, even within the same companies, Industry 1.0 up to Industry 4.0. But one thing is clear, Industry 4.0 is coming, and it's coming everywhere, and it's changing the world of work. And just if we talk about examples, how does it look like? It's like if today you ask robots to do something, artificial intelligence, it's really like robots or artificial intelligence learning directly from each other via the internet, conducting tasks, doing production or design processes. But we have to make sure that human beings are still at the forefront and are in control of this. Having said this, what I think is crucial to understand for all of us, for our affiliates, the regions, but also in the headquarters where we try to offer support, is that this new production pattern, this new industrialization system changes the whole world of work, and that goes merely for all sectors. Name it, whether it's automotive, where you have, on the one hand, you have digitalized autonomous driving systems, but that goes also in mining. You have autonomous mining driving systems in the aerospace, in mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering is, on the one hand, delivering the technologies by, for example, replacing Industry 3.0 assembly lines with what some companies call world-class manufacturing, where you have this interaction between human beings and the internet and the customer and the material. Even in the textile industry, you have this digitalization, as you might also call Industry 4.0, is changing the whole production, but also service patterns. And that is affecting, as we can imagine, also all the jobs in the industries, because the jobs will change. And what I understand is that many of our affiliates are really, really afraid that many jobs will be lost. And we have to find answers, and we have to meet these questions. And that is part of what we are doing here, trying to offer opportunities and training materials, etc. And when we talk about jobs, that's, I think, the core issue for many of our affiliates and in the regions, and also for us, for sure. You could have two approaches. The one is techno-pessimism or the other one is techno-optimism. The question is, jobs will change. There will be less manual work than today. But at the same time, there will be new qualification schemes. There will be new requirements in jobs. And we have to deal with this. We have to talk about this and we have to prepare our affiliates in our regions. And what we see today is that different regions of the world, different countries have different approaches also, the governments and also social dialogue institutions, how to tackle Industry 4.0 and digitalization. There's on the one hand the European model, which is based on social dialogue, which is, they call it digitalization Industry 5.0 already, because it's the integration of discussion over future society patterns and industrialization. Then we have this Japanese, you could say the Japanese and South Korean approach, which is different, which is rather focusing on the innovation by application. Then we have the American approach, which is traditionally linked to a more individual approach, like radical innovation, the lonely genius who invents the iPhone or something like this. And then we have the Chinese approach. And well, this is a challenge because in one part, China is always ahead of the others because they don't need democratic discussions. So they just speed up and government party just decides that's the way we go, and then things happen. But this is something we don't want in democratic societies. We need a little bit more time, but that's also exactly where our affiliates come to play, where our affiliates need to influence governments, companies, and social dialogue.
To implement our action plan and strategy on Industrial 4.0 and Just Transition, we have already planned concrete activity for this year.
Yes, we will start by publishing and rolling out the research that we were referring to here, and also the connected material like training material, presentations, etc. And then we will offer workshops for our regions and for our affiliates. And last not least, we will call for an experts meeting on global scale in October 2022.
So those are the activities that we will deliver to you this year. And we will continue to focus on Just Transition as a pathway to the sustainable future.